Alright, if you missed yesterday's video, link at the top. It would make a lot more sense, today's video, if you watch that one. So, there you go. Today's video, in lieu of a day 7 video, because I'm not going out to play day 7. I failed the challenge yesterday, day 6. For you yesterday, day 6, when I played barely at Red Rock and stopped. I wanted to expand on what I said though yesterday when I left Red Rock abruptly. I wanted to film right away because it was true and raw how I was feeling, but also in that moment it's tough to articulate my thoughts very, very clearly. So I don't know how good a job I did at that. For me in real time now, I haven't even edited that video yet, but I don't think I really fully explained what was going on. For one, there were things poker related that had nothing to do with that day, that had nothing to do with Red Rock, that had nothing to do with this challenge, but that have been happening in the past few weeks and all year that made me not really want to complete this challenge more than anything. I was trying to, but it wasn't devastating to me if I didn't, and I didn't on this one. There are also some things outside poker that made me not want to move mountains to complete this challenge. I went to sleep day 5 and I was wanting to do the challenge, but aware that it was very likely I wasn't going to play back-to-back 11-hour days. So whatever, I tried, but it didn't happen. If you don't play a lot in Vegas, you might not, I can understand people not being able to grasp this concept if you don't play poker a lot, or if you don't play a lot of poker in Vegas. You'll see tomorrow or the next day how much I lost at Red Rock. It wasn't an earth-shattering amount, but it was an amount that it's just so frustrating to be down that much that early. Because there are plenty of games in Vegas where it's just you're down a certain amount and you just can't win it back. You just can't. The game isn't that lively that you could win it back. Yes, theoretically possible, but very, very often it just won't happen. So I was very quickly down an amount where it was just there was no chance. That game, the pots were so tiny, which considering table changing, I didn't really see a better game nearby. Could a casino change, but it's so easy to lose that amount of money and so difficult to win it back. So I just knew even a break-even day was incredibly unlikely as soon as the session started. That was annoying. It was also annoying that the guy, nothing he did, not one thing he did synced with him calling me on that river. I lose plenty of hands. Plenty of my bluffs don't get through. Plenty of my value bets when I'm trying to get called don't get called. Things I don't want to happen in poker happen all the time. Just this was extra frustrating because of how well thought out it was. The guy didn't raise with pocket jacks pre-flop. The guy raised with queens. In a 1-3 game, he tried to make it 5 straight pre-flop. He had to make it 6. He had a boat earlier in the session with a 3 to a flush, which is a dream scenario, and he only tried to get the pot up to $40. Nothing he did screamed he's willing to put in money unless he has a royal or better. That was such a great card for me on the river. Not that I'm really repping amazing things. It's pretty unlikely to have a 9 in my hand in that scenario for the straight. I could definitely have the spades, and I could definitely have ace king, but ace king's probably the most likely thing, and then spades, and then 9x, probably pocket 9s in that order. But he's not thinking on that level. Well, it doesn't make sense for him to have a 9 in his hand. It's just a lot more money to him, and there's 4 to a straight, and there's 3 to a flush, and he only has 3 of a kind. And for someone who isn't willing to put in $4 with pocket jacks, and isn't willing to put in $7 pre-flop with pocket queens, how I run into the one time in his life where he takes a stand with that much money, for that much money of a raise, where he just knows he's dead, was just such unfortunate timing. It's also frustrating because instantly I'm thinking back to all the times where I'm up against someone on that board who has 3 of a kind, and I have the straight or the flush, and I could sense the guy is terrified. I have a very good read on what he has. I could sense that he's unwilling to put in a lot more money, and I'm just trying to milk anything I can out of him. I remember all the times where I'm going for value. I want to get called by worse, but I'm like, I can't bet that big. I would love to bet big. I would love to go all in and have the guy snap call me and he loses and I win. He's not going to put in a lot of money because there's just so many hands that beat him. And like a guy will bet 30, just like he did. And I'll make it like 65 with my straight. Just like hoping to get a crying call and get one extra bet. And the guy folds. Like that happens so often. When I'm trying to get called, somehow they find a miraculous fold. When I go for like this overkill sizing, not that it was a huge amount of money in relation to the pot, but this guy's not thinking in terms of that. He's just thinking in absolute dollars. Oh, an extra $95. Or like, when I'm going for a tiny bit of value, somehow the guy finds an amazing fold. When I'm going for a bluff with this like overkill sizing, somehow he finds the one time in his life that he takes a stand and calls. It was just so frustrating, and like so many thoughts just like passed through my mind when I lost that hand, and that was just, it was very annoying for a lot of reasons in the moment, for a lot of reasons like the past, you know, 4 to 6 weeks, for a lot of reasons like this year. It was just really frustrating. It was also frustrating that I was like so well prepared for that type of table. Like there are games out there in the world where it's just like absolute suicide to bluff in any scenario. And not only is it unnecessary, it's a terrible idea because people are calling way too much. There are games that are like in the middle, and it's like, I don't need to. I could get away without bluffing and I could still have like a very solid session. I should be on the lookout, and you know, maybe if the stars align, I'll put in a really nice bluff and that'll be like an extra bonus to the session. This game was the other end of like that like number line, that timeline. You had to bluff constantly. If you just waited to win at Showdown, there wasn't money to be made. Well, so like, all right, I would like a better game. Well, that didn't exist. So I was prepared for that game. I was raising over limps. I was trying to just steal the $4 in the blinds. Like, it's better than nothing. I was prepared for multi-street bluffs. I was prepared for large bluffs. I was prepared to like chase one thing and bluff another thing. It was such a good read in that hand, and I was just prepared, not just for the hand, for the session in general, to do things like that. There are lineups where that is just absolute, that is just such a bad play, and you're just lighting money on fire. No, this lineup, like, I was prepared to do this all day. Great read, great planning, great river card to help me out to rep something, great execution. I actually didn't even think I needed to go that big, but I did, and just so frustrating that the first one of the day just like goes up in flames. It was annoying, and it was annoying on like a lot of levels, and so that was the reason. I think I did a little bit of a better job in this video explaining what happened yesterday in day 6. It still might not be that clear, and I could definitely understand if you don't play a lot of poker in Vegas not understanding some parts of what I said, but I just wanted to explain better. It's like, this is like 10 hours. You stopped hearing a noise, the air conditioner just went off. This is like 10 hours after it happened now, so I'm like a little calmer and my thoughts are a little clearer. So just wanted to explain that. The next 2 videos will be some thoughts on the differences between 2-5 and 1-2. Interesting how many, I was looking at my 2-5 stats the other day, how little 2-5 I've played in my life, but how many states I've played 2-5 in. I didn't realize it was that many, but there's that video to look forward to, and also just, you know, the profit loss numbers and the hours to the minute. That video is going to come up, and then something big that I've told very few people coming up after this. So stay tuned for everything, and I hope yesterday's a little more understandable now. And remember, rice is a spoon food.